2, 3. 800-588-2300 Empire today.
Why was that the best, though?
Praise and production.
Gumbolaya podcast. What's going on, everybody? I got another friend. Covenant family. Mr. Phillip Charles. Phillip Charles in the studio. I'm here with Phillip Charles, guitar player, music writer. Have you produced? You've produced?
No.
You've never written a song and a group played it?
No.
Okay. Music lover.
That's not true, because we've played his songs.
See? There we go.
So
you have produced it.
So humble.
But that would be still in the writer arena.
Writer and performer.
So we'll say writer.
I thought you meant producing as in at the computer.
Yeah. But remember, so we have a veteran, that's a good word. We have a veteran, right?
Of music.
In his beginning days, computers weren't the norm for recording.
Fair enough.
It was
covered wagons.
You were probably going straight to. I would imagine would have been the 60s and 70s, right? Would have been like your early days.
Late 70s.
Late 70s?
Yes.
That's when. Okay,
I started doing some recording then.
I can't. Were DATs used yet? I know DATs kind of were. I know they were
like 80s
used in the 80s, but were they available? So you're probably doing reels, right?
We were doing
reel-to-reels
real,
and the Studers and the Ampexes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you ever have to mess with one of those? Like I never have, and I'm terrified if I ever need to.
No, not directly. It worked in studios that used them though.
Yeah. So Kelley's looking back and forth like a tennis match. So you know what a cassette tape is, right?
Yes.
So imagine an incredibly sophisticated, elaborate cassette tape, right? Okay. Huge. You've probably seen them like in movies and stuff like that, but it's got two big like movie film looking reels on both sides.
Yeah, that
one tape goes to the other, right?
Yeah.
And the tape goes through a bunch of stuffs that make the audio come through pristinely and amazingly.
Got it.
And the reason they are still awesome and used is because there's a certain sound referred to as tape saturation. When audio goes to a piece of tape, there's a quality that is hard to recreate outside of that. So you got people who specialize in being able to do just that, but because everything's digital now, it just doesn't happen as much. So I've always been afraid of going to a session and someone kind of looking at me like, well, you're the engineer, dude, fix it. And I'm like, I know how to cut it. I can cut it 45 degrees. Anyways, so we're getting a little too technical. Some of the music fam, y'all will appreciate, doing a reel to reel. All right, so let's go all the way back, Phil. Thank you for being here. Love you so much. So grateful to have you here. So to explain who him is to people that don't know him, Phil is the guitar player at Covenant. When I got to the church where I play, he was the music director at the time. He was running everything. And when I got there, you know what? That's a good place to start. What was your impression of me right away at the beginning and the meaning? So I get to rehearsal. I'd already talked to Dale, everything. What was the vibe? What did you notice from me? Let's go back. 2008, baby. 2007.
Well, let me give you my immediate impression.
Oh God.
I thought you were coming in to take over then.
Oh. Okay. Now, I know what I think you would have felt, but you tell me, what was the feeling with that? Because that is not what I was doing at all.
Oh, I was cool with it.
Okay, all right.
I was absolutely cool with it. I thought you were coming in and...
I just needed that to be said because I didn't know
I thought he was
somebody be watching. You took this job? No,
well, but
I did not take
he's
it.
so good-natured. He's such a team player.
No, I thought you were coming in on the onset.
Is that what was that explained to you in that way, or was anything okay?
No, No, nothing was explained to me.
Okay. I just popped up? Was it just out of nowhere?
I knew somebody was coming, but I didn't know what your function was going to be.
Wow.
You know?
Well, okay, so
other than, playing the piano.
That's because that was it.
But
so you did know. That was go ahead.
My assumption was that they were bringing somebody in to take
Okay.
take over.
Now, so I mean it makes sense that might have been a question mark, but all I was asked to do was to be an aux player.
Okay.
Was to be a player. So so I talked to Dale and he was explaining to me what they were looking for. And at the time I had a midday service. And so I explained, I can help y'all if it's okay that I leave after praise and worship.
Sure.
So where I'm from, it's probably more normal now, but you don't just be walking out of people's church like in the middle of service. It's a bit disrespectful. And I was in a situation at this ministry where they start at 9:30. I had a service at 11 that took about 30, 40 minutes to get to. So I didn't have a choice. So before I came, while we were talking, I remember I met him somewhere. We were like chilling in his car, listening to music or whatever. And I was like, yo, as long as you know that I gotta go, as long as it's kind of known so that I don't look like I'm a jerk, just like, all right, I'm finished, I'm out. I don't want to look like that.
Okay.
So that was understood. So I was just coming on as a key player or whatever. And learning a new ministry. It's like you finding a job you really care, or rather finding a job in an industry that you really care about, and you just don't know the people yet, you don't know the vibe yet, you don't know the ministry yet. So my opinion, it's more intense in both ways. Like, it has the potential to be awesome, and has the potential to be a headache. And, working at church is different because, you don't handle you don't handle problems the same way in church than you would at a normal job. At least you shouldn't, or maybe you should. I don't know. Anywho, so I didn't know what was going on, but it was very normal for me. Like coming from so many music ministry jobs and positions, coming to a new church it's kind of, I was used to it. However, Dale made a very positive impression on me right away. And it's hard to put into words unless you know this guy. His name's Dale. Unless you know him. He's a good guy. And
absolutely,
talking to him felt like I was talking to another musician. But he's one of the pastors there. And then, found out that he was, he is a producer. And so I was like, that's interesting. Like, there's a music producer talking to me about coming on to the church. They're okay if I gotta go. Like, there's some room here for possibility. So I came to rehearsal feeling like this feels a bit different. Then I come staffed and skilled bass player, staffed and skilled guitar player, some good singers, great drummers, stuff like that. We were rehearsing in a rehearsal studio, there's never been a ministry I've worked at where we didn't rehearse like at a physical church. So I was like, okay, it's different. I'm in a familiar environment, but it's a church thing.
Yeah.
So that was different. So from the beginning, I do remember that you felt very positive about me being able to do as much as I wanted. How were you asked to start in the first place? Like, did you say, hey, let me run rehearsals and everything? My understanding is someone asked you to help out.
Yes, someone asked me. It was Dale and I believe Michelle at the time.
Okay.
John Rosdick, who was the leader at the time.
Okay. I don't know any of this.
Yeah. John Rosdick was stepping down or you gotten another job somewhere else. Mm-hmm. Long story short, he couldn't be at Covenant.
Okay.
He was going to leave.
What did he play?
He was a keyboard player, and basically he ran all the rehearsals.
Okay.
So after John says, well, hey, I'm leaving.
Mhm.
They said, well, Phil,
Do
can
it.
you do it? I said,
I did
Okay.
not know that.
I said, okay.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
that sort of thing. So
what was your beginning in music? Like obviously, you know, somewhere along the line you got a guitar, you started practicing.
yeah.
But what was your first, I guess, musical involvement that felt like it was more than just like, you know, playing in band at high school or whatever? How did it begin for you?
I played with a group called Roscoe and Things.
Okay. All right.
And that Roscoe and that and Things thing came around from the gangs that were coming up because
Okay.
they used to say chitty chitty bang bang crippin' things.
Oh, okay.
Right? They used to say
I know
that.
not of this.
Yeah. See,
Okay.
see, this is some little bit of trivia here. They used to go around saying chitty chitty bang bang crips and things.
Okay.
So we named ourselves Roscoe and Things. And a Roscoe is a gun. It's another nickname for a
I didn't
gun.
know that. For
A
a
Roscoe.
particular kind?
Uh,
Is that a brand?
I don't know. It's not a brand.
Okay.
It's just
It's a nickname.
nickname for a gun. Or it's like saying gat.
Okay.
Yeah, I got my gat.
I got it. I got it. All of that.
Whatever that is.
Okay.
So it was the name of the group was Roscoe and Things, and it became just straight Roscoe.
Okay.
And had guys Cersei Macon and Ronald Bruner.
Okay.
Who was playing drums
Yeah.
in the group at that time.
Did y'all record? Like, could we look that up?
You won't find any.
So it's
recordings.
live stuff.
We were doing live stuff.
Okay.
We were playing like homecoming dances and stuff like that back
Okay.
in high school. So that was my first real involvement. Then later on I became involved with this band called the Bus Boys.
I remember you told me about that. Yeah.
And before
That's Boys Are Back in Town, right? Boys are
yeah,
back.
that group.
Yeah.
Brian O'Neill, Bus Boys, Kevin O'Neill, Gus Lunderman,
Yeah.
and whatnot. But before that, Brian and the Bus Boys used to be called Brian and Things.
Okay.
See that?
There's a lot of and things.
And
Yeah.
because it was popular in our culture to say
Okay.
and things, you know.
Okay.
Like you say stuff and things
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah. So wait.
Yeah.
So you played for Roscoe and Things.
Then I went to Brian and Things, right?
Okay.
Yeah. And one of the things,
So
one of
you're
their
always
sayings.
the end
There's a
thing.
lot of things.
And
Yeah.
they're
You're
one,
in the
and one of the sayings was things be banging to the max.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a guy named H.B. Baker came out with that. Things be banging to the max.
I wish I would have known this before we started. I totally could have introduced you as, you know, we're with Phillip Charles and Things.
Yeah.
I could have just tagged that in to kind of keep the through line going.
Yeah. So from that point, they became the Bus Boys.
Mm.
I got saved and felt the tug to kind of pull out of that
Mhm.
and start doing Christian stuff.
Was it because you didn't feel like you could be Christian in that group?
Yeah, exactly. I felt like
A lot of road things going on.
not necessarily. It was almost like imagined road things because I had no clue what was actually going on.
Okay.
But I was thinking, being young in the ministry thing in Christianity, that this wasn't what you would do. It wasn't an environment for me.
Okay.
And as it turns out, it kind of worked itself out.
Okay.
You know, so.
Tends to go down like that.
So,
Wasn't the environment for you?
And the environment wasn't total corruption, but there were some issues that were happening.
I understand.
And I needed, for young Christians' sake, to kind of pull out.
How old were you then?
I want to say 18, 19, around that age.
Okay.
And I stayed with them for about a year up until the point where they got their record deal.
So this was,
Yeah.
you were 18 with the Bus Boys?
Yes. 18, 19,
Oh, wow.
I believe. Yeah.
How did you told me, you mentioned somebody's name, Brian or something like that.
Yeah, Brian O'Neill.
How'd you get the call to audition?
Yeah, it was kind of weird. Now, here's the story for you. I was very fast runner, very fast,
Mhm.
very quick, and that sort of thing in terms of sports.
I totally believe it. Yeah, you're fast now.
I was going to go out for football on the same day that I was going to audition for Brian and Things.
Mm.
So I told them, hey, if I don't make this audition, I'll be out tomorrow and start, working the football thing.
Yeah.
Well, I got the audition.
Okay.
They put charts in front of me, and I actually stuck to charts. Read better back then. And the rest is history. That was the fork in the road. It was either athletics or music, and that was it.
So what?
That was 10th grade, yes.
What was when did you get the guitar in your hand? I don't know this either.
I got the guitar in my hand, I want to say Christmas 72, I believe.
How old were you?
I want to say 12, 13.
Okay. So you were like in middle school?
Yeah, I was in middle school.
Was it called middle school?
It was called junior high.
Junior high. Yeah. I didn't know about this until I think I was in high school.
Yeah.
And my mom said the phrase junior high. And I thought about the fact that I've heard people say that, but where does junior high factor in? Because I went to kindergarten and preschool.
Mm-hmm.
Then I went to elementary. Then I went to middle school, and now I'm in high school. So I'm like, where does this junior high come in? And my mom explained in Florida, the division was 1 through 4, 5 through 8, and then 9 through 12. And junior high was the 4 in the middle. So for me, it was 1 year more of elementary, which was 1 through 5.
Mm-hmm.
And then middle school for me was 6, 7, and 8. Was it the same for you?
No. When I came up, kindergarten through 6 was elementary school.
Holy moly.
7 through 9 was junior high.
Oh, okay.
And high school was 10 through 12.
I was going to say that was the same for my dad. Where 7 through 9 was junior high school. And then 10 through 12 was high school.
I'm not positive, but I think I have heard people refer to, this is a very important topic we're talking about junior high versus middle school. Very important. I think I remember a lot of people saying that for them, it was kindergarten through 4th was elementary school. And then 5, 6, 7, and 8 was junior high. And then 9, 10, 11. Because I remember the 4s, because kindergarten, everybody don't go to elementary.
In different places. Like where I grew up, they changed it to what you just described.
So you were in junior high and you just asked for a guitar?
Yeah, looking in the Sears catalog like everybody else.
I want a guitar.
Actually, even before that, same thing had played out with drums.
Yeah. Had you touched one before though? Was that?
No, not really. I just said I wanted a guitar. I would open it up just like I go into Sweetwater now. Look at stuff. Right now, I would open it up and I go, oh man, a guitar. It's a guitar.
Yeah.
So the crazy thing, one day my dad walks in the house and I hear something going, glang, 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 glang.
Oh, he bought it for himself?
He bought it for me.
Oh. And he was playing it?
He was going, bleep, bleep.
What's that, Dad? This is your guitar.
Yeah, and he had an amp. He had it plugged in, and he was just going, bleep, 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 bleep.
No, for you, to
it was for me.
Oh, it was for a surprise.
It was
I thought the dad bought the guitar, and he was sitting there rocking out with it. Like, what's that, Dad? This your new guitar. Bling, bling, bling.
Well, it was kind of like that. He was buying it for me, and he was basically announcing, hey, dude, I got your guitar.
Right. That's cool.
Yeah. So
that's pretty neat. So you said you were how old?
I want to say I was 7th grade, 8th grade.
Okay. Yeah.
Somewhere in there.
Okay. And in like 5 or something years, you were road ready? Like you were able to go on the road?
Yeah, that's where
I wasn't. It would be classically called the road. It was like, playing the high school circuit,
Okay. No, I'm talking about with the bus boys.
Yeah, 10th grade.
Okay.
Because they were a touring group. Like they put out projects.
Well, that's the whole thing. I only did the club circuit in L.A. So
I
never went on the road with them. And
and
I was out just before they signed their deal. They had already
got it. You were in the beginning game.
Yeah, I was at the beginning stages. Great guitar player by the name of Victor Johnson took over from me. In fact, I was using his guitar on a lot of the gigs because it was more of the rock thing, So, in fact, his was a Les Paul. Oh, it was great playing that Les Paul back then. But it was his guitar, and he's an incredible guitar player. Plays with Sammy Hagar now. So so he took over, and the rest is history. I got married, and Bus Boys went that way.
Okay, that makes sense. I didn't know that. I thought that you were with them after they started touring around because I remember you talked about some of the struggles of gigging life when you were beginning to date? Because that was around the beginning of your relationship with your now wife, right?
Yes.
So I maybe I just filled those gaps in unnecessarily in my own head. I thought you were on tour on the road, like away from home.
No.
So this was back and forth. I'm assuming they were pretty busy if they were like just before a deal.
Yeah. I mean, they did a lot of the, Madame Wong's, I think, at the time.
I don't know nothing about that. What's a Madame Wong?
It was a popular club in Chinatown.
Madame Wong's, okay.
And in fact, the Police played there, and a lot of those bands.
I thought you were going to say the Police were always there.
Yeah,
I was like, is that where you got out? Because the Police was always there. Madame Wong's. I know not of this. Was it like a jazz spot or like a hype spot?
It was like when New Wave was out. It was a New Wave club. Kind of Chinese restaurant / bar / entertainment.
Chinese food restaurant?
Chinese food, yeah.
With live music
and Madame Wong.
Madame Wong's.
It was a club.
That sounds cool. I have never eaten Chinese and listened to live music that I can recall. Yeah. That's the thing.
Me neither.
Madame Wong's.
Mm-hmm. So yeah.
So shout out to. I'm assuming it's not there because I haven't.
I don't know if it's there or not, but it was a very popular club.
Yeah.
At that time, a lot of the new wave groups went through there, and like I said, I mentioned the Police. Police even played there.
Yeah.
So
there it is. So with you, my understanding, or at least the bit that I know of you, is that you spend a lot of time in like funk and like what I refer to as like classic R&B and stuff like that. Were there any other, I guess, genres that you were into when you started, or was that like your beginning and then continued on?
Yeah, well, I think I would say my roots are James Brown guitar. I used to show out in front of my brother and his wife. Yeah. Oh, not his wife, but one of his girlfriends back in the day. Yeah. I put on Papa's Got a Brand New Bag. Yeah. And I was in the middle of them doing the James Brown, here I am. I'm the baby of the family. Yeah. Papa got a brand new bag.
Doing it. Yeah.
Doing it. So that's where I kind of got introduced to the funk kind of thing.
This like when you first got the guitar, are you talking about?
No, we talking 4-5 years old. Where I developed a longing or a love for James Brown. Yeah. And that's the skanky guitar sound and that sort of thing. Yeah. It was from that. And it just kind of progressed, with that, listening to Jimi Hendrix. My brother would play Jimi Hendrix as he went to bed, and he'd be playing. And we're just three of us.
As he would go to bed?
Yeah. He's playing it, and we're all sleeping to Jimi Hendrix, right? I mean, he also played a lot of jazz, Lee Morgan, Freddie Hubbard, a lot of that stuff. So I was taking in all this stuff.
Rick you're referring to?
Keith. It was Keith.
And because it was just the three of you, right?
It was Keith, Robert, and myself.
So Keith was the music player that you're referring to?
He was playing. Yeah, he played most of the music. My oldest brother, Robert, and we call him Tony. Yeah, he played clarinet.
There's no Rick? I thought you had a brother Rick.
No, that would be Keith.
Sorry, Tony. Wait, what?
Keith is probably who you're referring to as Rick. He was
the brother. Because remember, I've only met one of your brothers,
and that was Robert. That was not Rick.
So
that was Robert.
Sorry,
Robert Charles.
Is he called Tony? Did you just call him Tony?
Yes, we call him Tony.
My bad, Robert Tony.
His name
I thought you was Rick like this whole time. My bad.
His whole name is Robert Anthony Charles.
He's the one that agreed to the pieces that you so lovingly. So my first pieces were a gift sale, so to speak, from Phil. They had some pieces that they inherited, and I helped them with some stuff, and they had all these things that they were going to be selling and stuff like that. And I was like, yo, maybe I could have one of these, and they both agreed. So I'd never bought a piece because I didn't feel like I needed one, but I wanted one, and you worked it out, and I still have it. I very much love those gifts. Now I go pew pew pew. I just run around going pew 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 like that.
Okay.
Kelley's fading.
That's right. That's
Kelley,
right.
Look at her face.
Yeah, I'm feeling it. I don't even have to look.
This is the first segment.
We had a lot of ribs.
Y'all are tired. See? Or we did, though. We went and got ribs and collard greens and mac and cheese. Now they're tired. That's why I'm drinking this. This is Zip Fizz. Shout out to the fine folks at,
Should I go get some from you?
That's up to you. You do whatever you want, but we're totally working now. You prepare beforehand. Sleepy face. What's our time?
Oh, let me get a sip.
Huh?
Let me get a sip.
This is mine.
Please. Thanks, babe. He's the best babe ever. Face.
Hey. Funny.
Sorry, Phil. You're taking up Phil's time.
You taking up Phil's time.
You were.
I want my drink back.
It's all good. It's all good.
We're totally gonna cut while Kelley drinks my drink that I poured, and
we do so.
I ain't worried about y'all.
We'll be back next week. Phillip Charles, our beloved friend, who I'm gonna explain why he's here. It's not just a buddy hang, even though that'd be fine with me. But Phil wrote the song. One of the which one are we releasing first? We got some singles coming out. We're going to do King of Kings. So we have a song that's going to release
October 6th.
October 6th.
Yes.
Phil wrote it.
Woohoo!
That's why we are here. I just realized we haven't even said any of that, but he's also family, so we just started talking on us. So we'll be back with Phil next week. I'm going to cut it right here so that these two can do some jumping jacks or something and get ready for what we have been planning on doing.
Why are you going to call us out?
If it's my time, then it's my time. Worry about yours, 'cause I got mine. 'Cause I got mine. Worry about yours, 'cause I got mine. 'Cause I got mine. Praise and production.